Welcome to the behind the scenes for our homemade Hunger Games trailer. I'm going to walk you through exactly how we made this thing, so let the games begin! So this is a pretty epic trailer, so we had to assemble the cast. The most important role was Katniss. We reached out to an actor friend who we hadn't worked with before, and she auditioned. Katniss has a lot of emotion in this, so even though it's homemade, she got the drama and the emotion, especially in those eyes and the looks and the few lines that she actually does have in the trailer, so Autumn totally nailed the Katniss role for this. Next, we had to cast Peeta. We ended up using Chris, one of our regulars on this one. He has a nice, handsome jaw, sharp features, and then, you know, he's bald, so we can put whatever wig we want on him. Now, Chris is fairly tall. Katniss and myself are shorter, so when you see the shots, it's him always crouching down or like bending down in some weird way, or sitting in a chair, literally. And then we've got Gale. So we reached out to Nate, who was on our Lord of the Rings trailer as one of the hobbits. It was a little awkward when we tied him to the telephone pole outside. The neighbors have seen a lot of stuff around here, but having a shirtless dude being whipped outside the house, that was pushing it. I got to play Haymitch in this one, which I was pretty psyched about because Haymitch was my favorite character from the books. He just got the long blonde hair. We found a nice wig for that. And of course, I had to stand on some boxes to make myself taller and then kind of hunch over and do the sort of Woody Harrelson thing. We even sprayed my facial hair a little bit gray. I don't know if it shows up, but it was fun to inhabit that character. And then I also played Caesar Flickerman.
The girl on fire!
And we had Hari come in and play Effie, and she's kind of a wacky, fun person in real life, and she just totally embodied that role.
I'm always open to play anything, but the weirder and the crazier, the better for me.
And then we've got Snow and Plutarch, and they actually carry most of the trailer. They don't appear as much in it, but their voices end up carrying the whole thing. So it was really important to make sure that the voices were right for that, and like the weight of that will just be a solid foundation for the whole trailer. We've got our friend Piotr. He did most of the voices in our Reservoir Dogs, and he does amazing impressions. He plays President Snow. He's got the funny beard, and I did like the old makeup and kind of tried to age him. We sprayed his hair gray and tried to get the look right, and it's got a nice homemade vibe, but his voice was perfect.
She has to be eliminated.
And then we've got YouTuber Joe Hansen, who I've known for a long time, I worked with in the past, and he was great to come on board and play Plutarch in this one. He's already got light hair and lighter eyebrows and stuff, so he just kind of matted his hair down and got the look right, and he was great as Philip Seymour Hoffman.
The process was a little tricky because we try to reenact every detail, and I'm pretty sure I nailed about 3 out of 100 details. So, yeah.
And then we had the character of Prim in this one. We got a great actress, Margot, who came in. She had just the right face for it, and so we sat her down in a shorter chair and had Katniss be up in the higher chair, and once you get that angle just right, she looks like a kid. And then we've got, of course, John, my producer, and Sean, our editor.
This is just what I wore to work today.
Always jumping in there, playing background characters, guards. John was the main guard who does the whipping. And then we had to invite over a lot of friends to be in some of the crowd scenes. And when I say crowd, I mean like 5 or 6 people, but for us, that's a crowd. And we also had kids in this, and we've never really shot with kids before. So we had some great kids come in, Micaela and Tyla, and they're pretty young, but they were totally into acting. They practiced, they rehearsed their roles, and they got the looks just right for those 2 shots. There's a lot of wacky costumes in this one. We've got the guards, and that's like a full white outfit. You've got the white underneath, but then you've got the panels. We did shoulder pads, we did the chest plates and the back plates. We found 2 matching helmets that we just spray painted, and then I added the little black cardboard for the face on that. You can't actually see out of it, which is difficult, so anytime the guys are wearing those, they just are totally blind, trying to like move around, mess with the crowd, fire guns, and they can't see anything. They also have a cool futuristic guns. Everything looks cool white. That's kind of the trend right now. All the futuristic stuff is white, so we spray painted some of the guns that we had white, and they look super rad. So we had our friend Hari come in and help with the wardrobe again this time. She did a lot of the Katniss stuff. We found this amazing vest with the zipper that was totally in the right place, just added some stuff to it. Hari really went to town on this Effie outfit, and she had the idea to do it with bubble wrap, which was awesome. So she just like glued this crazy thing. We kept making it higher and higher and just adding more layers, and then we spray painted it with some lavender spray paint, and it looks awesome. She ended up putting a slinky in her hair on top of the wig that she found, and we did the little arm pieces, and the whole thing really came together. And then for a couple shots there where they're at the Capitol and they're walking past all of the people in their crazy outfits, we just busted out the box of wigs and hats, and anyone who was around during that night shoot, we just put them in there, and Katniss walks through the crowd, and we've got everyone in there with a crazy top hat or a weird wig or whatever, so that's a fun shot. For For the most part, the hair was pretty easy in this. Autumn had the right color hair already, and so not a lot to do there. With Chris as Peeta, we had a hard time finding a short blonde wig. We're not experts at guy hair yet. So once again, I took a curly woman's wig and then just took the scissors to it and did a crazy hack job.
Yikes. This is not looking too good. There's no way it's gonna stay up.
One of my favorite parts about showing up for these is I get it fitted for a wig every time, and I never really am certain what the wig's going to look like. So let's find out this time.
And lo and behold, when we finally put it on his head, it looked pretty darn good.
Oh, it fits.
Wow.
Phew, crisis averted.
Yeah, it's really more like an early Ryan Seacrest, American Idol.
I love it.
Chris wearing that wig looks a lot like Brad Pitt in Burn After Reading, I think. I'm dying to do something with Chris as Brad Pitt.
I asked him for a trim. He gave me a Ryan Seacrest.
Is Katniss in love or what?
Thanks. Check out what a pretty nice boy's like.
I cannot take you seriously in that.
Effie has her colorful wig. Katniss just has a braid that we added on. For the party stuff, we just bought this braid, put it across the top of her head, and it totally matched. We also did that for Prim. We bought a separate braid and just like attached it to the top of her head, and then did a real braid, and it all went together. So then I got to wear a couple fun wigs. The Haymitch one was parted on the side. I just like moved it over to the middle.
I'm Woody Harrelson, sweetheart.
And then Caesar Flickerman has some crazy hair that goes up.
So we got one of these beards here, and I'm just turning it upside down, using it as a Caesar Flickerman wig. So there we go. I am Flickerman. I did not get a spray tan for the role, but check out my braid.
We did some fancy stuff this time with projecting pre-recorded video on monitors and screens and stuff. So when Snow and Plutarch are having their evil dinner, they're looking at a holographic screen. So we set up the whole dinner scene and put the table in my living room right up next to my TV. We had to actually shoot the stuff that's on the screen ahead of time, then go through the footage, line it up, get it just right, put it on the TV. So then when we're shooting that stuff at night with Snow and Plutarch, we can play the right clip back on the TV at the exact moment and then have the actors in the room line up their performance exactly with what's happening on screen.
It's a lot of work. It's more work than I thought there would be.
And then for Caesar Flickerman standing in front of his really big monitor, same idea, but we just hung up a white sheet and then projected it using a little digital projector. And you know, these kind of shots would have been really easy to do with a visual effect, even to do cheaply, but we don't do any of that. It's all in camera, so we had to come up with those solutions and how to do this and capture it entirely in camera. There are lots of miniatures in this one again, so once we're done with the live action stuff, we go into cardboard action figure mode. I built the little kind of town hall building there, got the little like mayor guy, you got the guards. I spray painted a bunch of our action figures white and then drew the little helmets on, and then a lot of our other action figures just stand in for the crowd. You set them up, you line up the shots, and you just knock them out one by one. So I had the close-up version of the little like city hall thing, and then also there's one shot of it wider, and I just went ahead and made that whole thing just for that one shot. The guards and the crowds are in lots of other shots too throughout the trailer. There's some nighttime stuff, kind of fighting, looks like a riot. We needed some riot shields, so I just took a 2-liter bottle of soda and just cut out little plastic pieces, and it kind of looked just like riot shields. Just tape them on there, and there's some fire. We're getting pretty good with our fire technique. You line up the shot, get the action figures in there, and then you just blast the fire. And we usually film that kind of in slow motion, so it makes it feel bigger. We've got a big fire in the crowd where someone holds up the sign that has the Mockingjay logo on it, and then there's a Capitol flag that's on fire.
We're lighting the Capitol flag on fire, and pretty much only got one take. It's all or nothing.
Ah, it's like a marshmallow.
There's like a guy that shoots like a flamethrower, so we set up the guard, put the little toy gun there, and then John just goes behind it with his hand kind of hidden in a black sheet and shoots the flame out. There's like a chest that gets tossed into a pile of fire, and it needed to like land in the fire and have some weight to it, so I ended up filling it with coins because the little cardboard box wasn't heavy enough. Oh, and there's a guy that breathes fire, so get the action figure there and just shoot the fire up. So there's also one shot of like a big party at the Capitol. It's got all kinds of crazy lights and stuff. I didn't know what we're gonna do for that. Luckily, it's just one shot, so kind of just set the camera up and start putting things in place. It's like we'll put 2 cases here, put the building here, just put some people here, used 2 bowls on the sides, and just ended up attaching some white pipe cleaners all around because they have some kind of lights that look like that. And there's some lights that go up in the building. So John is just shining the flashlight, and he just like moves his fingers up, and it kind of creates the same look. When it's just one shot like that, you can kind of just fake it and come up with whatever works, and then you're done. And then there's also one shot of them running through sort of a shanty town. So we just set that up and pulled the action figures through.
It's all about the rooftops. What is it really? Oh, tea boxes! Who knew? The whole shantytown was made of tea.
There's some title cards, just the usual. You draw it out and you just get that one shot, but the Catching Fire logo at the end is kind of an elaborate thing, so I just built it out of cardboard, kind of cut it out, drew everything on there, got myself the nice logo, put some black in the background, and just blasted fire behind it, and tried to get it just right so that the fire kind of just engulfs the logo in a really cool way. Music plays an important role in this one, so I always do all the music and sound effects just using my voice, just to make it really homemade. So I'll just lay down one track, do another one, and it's all just layering and just building it up and giving it that big epic sound. And that's how we made our homemade Hunger Games. Be sure and subscribe because we've got new episodes every single Tuesday. And let us know in the comments what other trailers and scenes we should try. You can help us decide what we should do next. So thanks for watching. If you'll excuse me, I've got some fire to catch.
And are you going to see my legs during this?
Action! Do not stand. I laugh in the face of do not stand.